won't it? Oh, it says that it's now. It says it's live.
It does.
Let me see. And what you'll need to do is go. You'll have to get the chat. Remember the chat's on YouTube. You have to watch the chat on YouTube. So you have to go onto the.
Oh yeah, you're right. I've got to pull up. You know what he's saying, Carrie?
Yeah, just mute it.
Oh, we've got one viewer. Is that George?
I can hear myself here.
I know. Oh, now we have 9 viewers. Okay, it's working now. Thank you, George.
So everyone that's in the chat now, you're welcome. This is all down to me.
He is King George after all, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, thank you, George.
He can start a live stream from another country. Love you.
He's the man.
Take care, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bless him. God bless him.
Yes.
Okay, so for us to see the chat, we have to go to YouTube.
Right.
Like go to my channel, and we'll see the chat. Let's see who's on there.
Oh, I've not got it. Hang on, I'll refresh it.
Channel, and we'll see the Oh, Michelle, be quiet. There it is. George says my work here is done. Hey, Kimberly.
Nailed it, George. You nailed it.
Bless you. People have to help me from another country to get me on. You know?
You got to give it to the man, though. He nailed it.
Definitely.
He nailed it.
I mean, and how lucky am I that when I do need him, first of all, he answers because he knows why I'm bothering him usually. Because if we're going to just have a chat, him and I, we schedule it. He gets this urgent, like, I'm doing it. He's like, he probably just, if I was him, I wouldn't answer me. I'd be like, what you want now?
I was asleep.
Yeah. He could easily say, I'm not at home. Bless his heart. I didn't even think to restart it. I'm sorry, y'all, that we're late. Welcome. It's American Mum and
Scriptonite. Hello, everybody.
We're going to be discussing leftovers. We've got 20 viewers right now. Allie Mertklux. You watch us from Turkey? Please read my name.
Wow, Turkey.
But I don't know if I said that right. Ali Mertklux. Savage, hey. Mr. Alpha, hey. Aw. Hey, Naj. Naj is from the Philippines. She's my new friend. She's so sweet.
Oh.
Oh, I said it right. Oh, American Dad's on here. Can you see the chat, Carrie?
I can. It's not coming up for me.
It's you have my channel pulled up?
I do.
If you're watching it?
Ah, I've got it. I was on that page.
Now situate us to the side.
God, I'm looking at myself now. Right.
Look at yourself.
Muted it.
American Dad, thank you for being here. Yes, we do thank you for your support. He's thanking everybody.
Hey, American Dad.
He's downstairs, but he's watching. Bless him. Oh. Hello from Mexico.
Wow. Ohio, Croatia.
Croatia?
Amazing.
And Ohio. My husband went to college in Ohio.
Oh.
That's all I know. I don't know where. Sorry. The Art Institute, maybe? Wherever that is. Oh, Edinburgh. Where's that?
Oh, that's just a ways up north from me. I'm in Bristol.
North from Bristol.
Oh, it's Amy Lamore. Hello.
Okay. Pluto.
Oh, Pluto. I think that's our furthest.
That's not a planet anymore. Where are you? Where's Pluto? Scotland. Oh, it's in Scotland. Okay. Thank you, Amy.
Oh, my wife is also online.
Oh, hey, Nancy. Finally here, she said. Does she mean her or us?
I think us.
Carrie Ann was slowing me down. I'll just say. I'm just kidding.
It was all me. I was like cutting cords and all sorts.
If she's going to schedule a live stream, she sure is better start on time and be ready. That's just rude. George told me when he was helping me with this, he was like, the next time we do anything like this, I'm going to set it up and call you. I was like, yeah, that's fine. I don't want to do it. I don't do it often enough that I remember everything to do.
Yeah.
Want to record it and anyway. Okay. So we've got like how many people? 37.
Wow.
We can go ahead and like start, and I'll let everybody know that Carrie Ann is Scriptonite. All superheroes have real names. She's not just Scriptonite. I'm Michelle, and she's Carrie Ann. And we are going to discuss how much we enjoy or did not enjoy The Leftovers. And then we're going to go through the seasons. And we'll talk about season 1 and our top favorite characters, least favorite characters. And then we'll move on to season 2. And we will get to questions either in between, we'll play that by ear, or maybe wait until the very end. Because we don't want, we're not going to stay on for a terribly long time, but we do want to discuss this series because it was so good.
It was really special.
What did you think, Carrie Ann? Because you started it first, and I wasn't able to watch your reactions because I knew I was going to react to it. So when you started it, what did you think?
Well,
what was happening?
It's weird. Firstly, can you see me?
Uh-huh.
So firstly, I actually went back and watched my reaction, which I never do. I went back and watched my reaction of the first episode just to try and remember what I actually thought at the time, because once you've got what you forget.
Right.
And it got me right away. Actually, the first episode, I kind of came out and was just like, okay, this is special. Like, it just felt like this is going to be really weird. I'm never going to have seen anything like it before.
Right.
And at the same time, there were like all of these little Lost references, and I'd just come off Lost. So it's kind of like there was this like enough familiarity with all of the weirdness to kind of get me engaged. But I knew the moment I fell in love with the show was episode 3. It was 2 boats and a helicopter, the Matt episode where he he starts off in the church and he's telling the story about being a boy and surviving cancer, and there's the little girl in a coma.
Exactly. Yes.
And it's like spitting your mind out, and it's like quite slow. And then you see, him with Nora, and he's like revealing that her husband.
All those flyers. I was like, yeah. What kind of pastor are you? Why are you being mean? Like,
I just spent the whole first half of that episode going, I hate this guy. Like, he's such a self-righteous prick. Excuse my language. I can't stand him.
Right.
And then it just turned around, like from the gambling moment right through to the end of the episode with the remnant and the church.
Yes.
And I was just like, even watching it back and kind of seeing my reaction to it, I was just like, I really felt all over again how it was watching that episode of just like, it felt like the creators were saying to us, we are about to take you on the trippiest ride you have ever been on in your life.
We're going to take you on God's tongue. We're going to take you on God's tongue. Woo! You wake up 2 weeks later. That's how it felt a little bit sometimes.
It did. It really did. And I like...
In a good way.
Yeah, well, like most shows, you maybe get 1 or 2 shocks in an episode, maximum. And there were episodes of that where the whole episode was a shock. You literally, almost every line of dialogue and every scene change, you're just reeling, from one shock to the next, and it keeps you constantly unbalanced. So you can never really get too comfortable. I kind of like that. I could see how it could drive someone completely insane, but I kind of like shows really farking with me.
I like you farking with me as well, but not to the Westworld level. You can keep up with that farkness more than I can. that to me, I'm just like,
Yeah.
one was, and you mentioned Lost because we've both just come off Lost.
Yeah.
And it was funny going back to watch your reactions, how you would insert a scene with a scene from The Leftovers and how the similarities were. And I was just like, she's brilliant. Like I couldn't remember where the scene would be, what episode, what season. Like, you're just so funny. And I was like, yep. Now,
well, you have yourself to thank for that, because honestly, I hadn't watched Lost all the way through. I watched it like way back when it was on for like a season.
Okay.
And then you were reacting to it, so I was like,
So
well, I'll give it a go and see it. And I just became addicted, like absolutely addicted. So yeah, I'm
hated when that ended.
Yeah.
I was like, I want more episodes, but that was such
Me
a
too.
good series. Now, were there some of the writers or creators that were involved in Leftovers?
Yeah, so Damon Lindelof, who was really kind of the brain behind Lost. J.J. Abrams kind of was there at the beginning, but Lindelof stayed all the way through. And The Leftovers was his next kind of big baby. I still cannot believe that this show hasn't got more viewers and kind of a wider fan base, because I feel like it should be being mentioned in the same breath as Lost, as Game of Thrones, as other really big shows, Westworld, because it's that good a quality, like everything, the writing, the music, the acting, like the whole package is just like, how can you deny this is almost perfect? I mean, it's really,
I don't like a show where you can expect something that's going to happen next and be like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm just writing it out. Yeah.
It kept you interested. And it was like, where are we going with this?
Yeah.
And then it would tie in and you'd be like, and it was awesome. It would be great. When I started season 1, I loved Kevin Garvey immediately.
Your cutie patootie.
He's my cutie patootie. Jennifer Aniston, stay away.
I hear he's single again now. I think she left. I think she let him go. Sorry, American Dad.
I'm back. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was my cutie patootie. I liked how he was, the chief in the town, but then we learned about his dad and how these people had disappeared, which we never got an answer to. We'll get to that later, but where did this 2% go? Yeah. That's what I think keeps people talking about it, though, because it's controversial.
You start watching the show. I started watching the show thinking, this is a mystery show about these 140 million people that have disappeared, and we're going to spend the show figuring out why they disappeared, where they went, all of this stuff. And it kind of became clear about, I don't know, I think I was into season 2 before I started to realize, oh, the show isn't about the 140 million people that disappeared. It's about how people deal with trauma, how people deal with loss and grief, and the way that we make decisions about what's real and what's not real.
Yes.
So it's really much more about kind of being a person in an uncertain world than it is about the specific uncertain thing that happened. And I think probably I'd like to actually rewatch it all the way through from the beginning again with that in mind. And kind of how will I feel differently about characters and situations. But yeah, it really got me. And like the freaking remnant in season 1, I'm Bon Joffrey. I don't think I've actually felt so, like, apart from The Handmaid's Tale, but I won't give you any spoilers. The Handmaid's Tale.
I know that one's winning right now for me. I don't know if I'm reacting to that.
And yeah, every time I saw Patty in season 1, I just wanted to, hurt her physically. I just like wanted to reach into the screen and grab her and fling her.
I'd say, go away, Patty. I didn't want her in the scene either. Go away. You're causing problems, making people wear white and smoke.
And like the stalking. Like, if I came out of my house the bit where they're constantly harassing Nora, and she comes out and she's like with the water hose, and it was just like I felt like everyone who watched the show at that point was just like, okay, I love Nora Durst now.
That's when I started to really kind of like her. I didn't care for her at first because I knew Kevin was married to Lori, and Nora was, you know, talking to him at the thing when they had lost baby Jesus, and there was the dance. That was a crazy episode too, and I was just like, I said, I don't even remember if I said it in the episode or in the reaction, but I was like, I don't know if I like you yet. You know, like I didn't want it to be like yes or no, but she wasn't up there for me, you know.
I cannot tell a lie. I fell in love with her. I think during Guest. I think it's episode 6 of season 1.
Yeah.
When, like, you know, she's going to the conference and just like she's so angry, and it was I kind of really got in that episode, just like, because up until that point she'd been quite mysterious. We knew she had a gun. We didn't know why she had a gun.
I know. She was knocking stuff off tables for no reason, and I didn't realize.
Yeah, I thought she was a psychopath at that point.
Yeah.
I was like, why is she doing this? Like, is she just attention seeking? And I mean, she kind of was. In fact, I mean, that kind of is part of who she is.
Yeah.
But in Guest, like, well, people who are on here who know my reaction to Guest when she's making out with that dummy, it just gave me so many complicated feelings.
You can't remove that from your mind.
You can never take it. We can't unsee it.
He said he wanted a kiss. She was like, okay.
And frankly, I was just glad she didn't really kiss him, because that guy was such a horror show. I really didn't like him at all.
And I liked how she played him too. She was just like, he was like, you're really not going to ask me? And she was like, what do you do? You know, and then he was used to people falling all over him. And then, yeah, he just, oh, what an ass.
Oh, that was it. You don't want to know what I do. No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't care.
Fine.
But yeah, Nora really grew me up. Like, by the end of season 1, I was just like, sign me up for the Nora Does fan club. She was completely my number 1 favorite character, like, by a long way. And no one else really kind of stuck to me that season.
Was that the episode too where her acting, like she had more screen time?
It was like just a Nora Does show.
The Garveys, sort of.
Yeah. Because it had focused on the Garveys, and kind of, I can't lie, I was never really interested in Jill. And not even so much Tom, to be honest. He always made me feel a bit uncomfortable. I never quite knew what to feel about Tom at certain points, because he always seemed like he was on the edge of a nervous breakdown, and it kind of made me almost nervous just to kind of watch him. So I could have done with less of both of them in season 1. More of Nora, more of kind of Kevin and what was going on there, and actually maybe even more of Kevin Senior, because he just kind of popped in and out. During season 1, I could have happily just like devoted more screen time to those people, but awesome, you know,
actors. Everybody was great, but I think we got to know the most of Kevin and Matt probably in season 1, and then towards the end, Nora kind of made her thing, and then when we picked up with season 2, then I was gonna say, we were like, I think everyone that has watched that show said, what am I watching? Is this the same?
I was completely confused, especially because I think you had the same question. I forget who asked it. I want to say Gabriel, Celeste. I apologize if I've misattributed that, but they asked us both in our comment section at the end of season 1, like, how would you feel if the story just ended here? And I was like at the end of season 1, and I was like, well, you know, it seems kind of, yeah, you know, I can see how a story could end there, but I kind of want to see what's going on. So when season 2 started and it was the cave woman and everything else, I genuinely thought, oh my God, it's over. We've gone into something else. I'm never going to see them again. And so, like, that moment when they show up at the end of season 1 and we're all like, oh.
It is the same show, because the music that you love to sing.
I love it. I love that song.
Go ahead. You were doing it while I was trying to figure out how to go live stream. Sing it, Carrie.
I did a sort of theme music. What was sort of the technical issues like?
And I thought, the theme music's different. We have different people. We're in Texas. We're not in New York.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're going to focus on John and Murphy.
Yeah.
John and Erica, and then their 2 kids. You know, instead of Tommy and Jill, it's going to be Michael and Evie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go. Well, yeah, I think probably I just spent the first 10 minutes of the episode just deeply impressed, even though I was completely confused.
Right.
I was like, this is amazing though. Like the cinematography of that whole story with that cave woman. And it broke my heart. Like when she's dying on that little rock, I think I cried. I think I at least had tears in my eyes. I was really upset about it.
Yeah.
Because it was just like, God, what a short and brutal existence this woman's got. You know, she's just, you know, she can't run off to the hospital. You know, she's just stuck there dying.
Yeah. And I like the similarity that, and for those of you that have not seen The Psychology of Kevin Garvey, there's 3 videos. The first part is, of course, season 1. Season 2 is part 2. Season 3 is part 3. They talk about whenever the woman comes out of the cave and the cave collapses and then she's left on her own. It's kind of how our world that we were first introduced to with everybody.
Yeah.
And how once like that, those were her people. And now she's alone in the world. She gave birth and then she had to feed the baby. She got bit by a snake. She had to survive. So it kind of tied in.
Brilliant.
And with the Adam and Eve thing, it gives a mythology thing of all kinds of stuff. It's really informative. It's a good video. I thought that was neat how they tied that in because it was a similar situation way back when where she was by herself and everyone she knew was gone. It was like, oh crap. Now what?
Yeah, it is. It's like since there were people, there have been people dealing with losing people.
And like, exactly. And season 3 started out that way too, where they were constantly going to the rooftop in the Pilgrim days, looking to be taken for the rapture, and then it would never happen. Like they always started stuff off like in a historical way in season 2 and 3.
Yeah.
And it made you think and go, oh, okay, now what? But it all tied in. Once you've seen the whole series through, you go back and go, got it. Now I gotta watch it again.
I don't know. I was itching to watch your season 2 episode 1 reaction. I really was. just your face for that first few minutes.
I think that was brilliant. Pause moment. Pause. Stop it. What's going on?
It's completely bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. But again, it's like you've just like how quickly in that episode they established the characters from the Murphy family. At the end of the episode, I was kind of sold on them. I was like, okay, this is about to get really interesting.
Yeah.
I think particularly from the point of the barbecue when, you know, Kevin was like, oh, you know, what, you know, and we find out John's been in jail and there's that absolutely freaking hilarious exchange, you know, and Erica's like, John, they think you're joking. Oh no, I really did.
Oh, really? What? 6 years.
And it just like, you know, Kevin's face and the tension, and then Evie comes in and drops the cake, which by the way, watching that back, I'm pretty sure Evie faked that dropping of the cake epileptic seizure in that episode. Yeah. Because she knew she was leaving that night, and they deliberately show us a scene earlier in the episode of her taking her medication. And Erica says, oh, it only happens when she doesn't take her medication. And we know she's preparing to leave. You know, 2 minutes later, she's off in the car with her friends, going off to run away and join the Guilty Remnant.
At the party. Drop the cake. Okay.
Yeah. So I watched it back, but when I was reacting, I was like, did she fake that just to create a scene? But yeah, well, I'm still not okay with Evie. Not okay with Evie.
No, I'm not okay with her either. The kids. I mean, I like Michael. Michael was he's in one of my top 4 favorites of or top 3 in season 2. He seemed like a good kid, and I thought he'd straighten Jill out a little bit, but you can only do so much with messed upness.
You can only work work with the materials you've got.
Exactly. And he tried. He was just thinking, oh, God. She has to stay in this church at all times if she's going to behave.
That was a shame, actually, season 2 Jill. I thought she started to change and she kind of got engaged again, and like she was really funny in the beginning part of that season. I was like, yeah.
Mm-hmm. She was always with the baby.
And then again, she just spirals out. I mean, I know she's got a lot to deal with.
Yeah.
But she's not very sympathetic. You know, I was watching Jimmy's reaction and Jimmy Macro, and he's like, I hate this. Like, kill her off. I don't feel that strongly about it. But there were moments where I was just like, I'm impatient now with Jill.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So who were your favorite characters in season 1?
Oh, season 1, Nora. Number 1, Nora. And
okay.
Second, really weirdly, Mayor Lucy. I loved Mayor Lucy. I could have had more of her as the thing. I was quite sad when she wasn't in it.
She was pretty
Season
different
2
than what you would think of a normal mayor. You know, like a proper, like she just would say shit, just like she'd be like, Kevin would cuss at her, and she'd cuss back at him, and then he'd cuss back at her, and I'd be like, he's the mayor, Kevin, like calm down. But she was cool. It was like, okay. And then we found out she was dating Kevin Sr.
Yeah.
So she was interesting. She was.
I'm just so, I think like half of my laughs in season 1 came from Mayor Lucy. Just her little asides, like when she walks into the office and Kevin's got all the pictures up of the guilty remnant and stuff, and she just like looks down and goes, ugh, I know I shouldn't have told you to watch The fucking Wire.
Yeah.
It's just constant with her, like constant, like she's like that person that you always want to be. You know, you can never think of that witty thing to say in the moment. You think of it 2 hours later. Well, you
think I should have said that. She says it. Yes.
She says it. It's just, she cracked me up. So yeah, she'd probably be my second at the end of season 1. What about you?
Well, my first is my cutie patootie, Kevin. I just related to him. I wanted to know. I could tell he was going to be the main character.
Yeah.
And I knew everything was, he was kind of doing everything.
Yeah.
And then trying to deal with his family. Then we find out Lori's in that guilty remnant that we keep not wanting to see the people. But I think they wanted to keep us interested in what they were doing because Lori was associated with them. Yeah. Otherwise, we could have all been like hand grenades, blow them up.
Yeah.
At the end of season 1, what happened a long time ago. Sorry.
Yeah, on the phone to APVAC.
Drop the bomb. We're over them. Yeah, but so Lori just connected to them, and Patty was a pain in the ass, and she was my least favorite character, and then Little Wayne was second, but Kevin was my favorite, and then Matt. I just really enjoyed Matt.
Yeah.
To know him, and then I didn't know what to think of Nora, so I didn't put her on a favorite or least favorite.
Yeah.
Category. But so it was Kevin and Matt, and then least favorite was Patty and Lil Wayne. I was like, he's a creepy, you know what? Trying to hug people and being with young Asian girls. And I really believed he had this power too, which I didn't want you to believe. And I thought, well, how are you getting this power? Like, leave the girls alone. And why?
Yeah, like, why would anyone give you a power? Like, why would he's such a horrible, like, really, I'm with you on him. He really creeped me out. Like, that scene with him and Tom when he threatens Tom, you know, stay the hell away from Christine. And and I was just like, this guy is really gross. Like, he's really, and we never got an explanation for all of Tom's scars on his back. So, was Wayne also actually physically abusing him?
These cult leaders or there's these false prophet people that they can do all this stuff, and he could probably, I can hug all the pain away, which Tommy wanted done, but he didn't join a cult like Lori. He just went off and found this guy. Like, do you remember the part where they finally meet up with him? Lil Wayne is driven to this place or something happens, and he kisses a dead person.
Yeah, the guy on the floor.
Yeah, he goes, he never would have let me do that if he was alive.
Yeah. I was like, oh, he wouldn't have let you sexually assault him
Yeah.
when he was alive.
Yeah.
Bravo you, sir. Bravo you.
Little Wayne, you're still on my shit list. But
Yeah,
I was so curious about the hugging power, and I wanted to see it. And then when he hugged Nora,
yeah,
her guest, when she finally went to go see him, we were talking about the
dummy kissing.
yes.
Yep.
When he hugged her, it was like I almost saw like she was. I thought, am I witnessing it? Because I wanted to see what happened. I always just want to see, like, let me see it, do it.
Completely. I mean, that's how they placed you in exactly the same position as the people in that world, because you could only work on the evidence you had. And, you know, it's who you believe, who don't you believe. We had the congressman, you know, from early on who went to see Wayne. He came out. I feel great. I feel fantastic. And then Nora, who we really trust, this is someone who, like, the central point of Nora is that she's, like, obsessed with trying to describe things exactly as they are. You know, she's always, like, really focused on what is truth, even if she's lying, to be honest. But that's for later.
She's not a liar.
You're not a liar. And then she, you know, she's, at least in the show world, she's like the least bullshit person in the show at this point, bar maybe Mayor Lucy. You know, we're not certain if Kevin's insane or not. Almost everyone else is in a cult. So, you know, Nora's like our kind of sympathetic, straightforward kind of character.
Yes.
So she gets a hug, and suddenly she's changed her shopping. She's not doing the shopping with her family stuff anymore. She's all made up. She's like smiling at people.
She's aren't having a shooter. I was like, what's that about?
The Kevlar vest is back in the ball.
Yeah, it's everything's fine.
So yeah, I've got to be honest, at that point I think I was kind of maybe 70-30, like 70% she's been magically made better,
right,
and then kind of 30% like, but really a hug,
right?
You know, it's like your brain is trying to wrestle with.
But you know what they threw in there to make us think, when he kept saying he was dying, and because every hug was taking a little bit out of him, I was thinking, okay, he does have some sort of power, and if he's dying, which he ended up getting stabbed or something. Somebody stabbed him. Isn't that how he died? When he was on the toilet, like he was stabbed. It wasn't what he was doing. Now we know it was BS. But that made you think, okay, the hugs are working because it's draining him, you know.
Completely. And I think that, again, is the whole point of the show. It's like almost, it's not necessarily even important whether he did have the power or he didn't. It's how difficult it is as a person with a limited amount of evidence available.
Yes.
And no certainty. You know, we can never really be certain about anything. How do you make decisions about what you believe and what you don't believe and what's behind it? And I found myself, I really did kind of go in, I'm learning things about the way I make decisions, about who I believe and who I don't believe.
Right.
Because you can see your brain churning and just like, you know, sometimes there are things I really want to believe, even though I think they're probably not true, but I'm like, I'm going to believe it.
Yeah.
I just prefer it, you know? Just prefer the ending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it going to hurt anything if I believe that, or if it makes me feel better if I believe that? Am I hurting anybody else? No. Okay. Well, then it makes me feel better. I'm going to do that.
Yeah. And I feel like that too. So I think Nora would hate us. You know, because there was like, I've got to be specific, but I'm the same as you. I'm kind of like, if there's a belief in my life that empowers me and doesn't hurt anyone else, I could care less if it's true or not. It really doesn't matter, as long as I'm not trying to enlist other people or hurt other people.
Yep.
Exactly. Who really cares?
If it makes you feel better. So I agree. I liked season 1. I liked how it wrapped up. And what?
Oh, I'm just remembering I had a sudden flash then of how I felt when the guilty remnant put the bodies of all the disappeared people, the departed people in the houses, and Nora coming down those stairs, and you knew what she was going to see when she came down those stairs.
I didn't. I had no idea what.
Oh God! I think about
the laying out of the clothes and all that, but I
Yeah.
never put it together. You put stuff together faster than I did. I could tell always. I was just, I'd watch your episode and you'd say something and I'd go, damn it, she's already figured it out. I know there's 2 more scenes that go by before I go, oh, whatever. But I had no idea. And then, well, first of all, they broke into their homes.
With the knife, like, are they going to kill people? Yeah.
Kill people. And
I thought they were going to kill people.
Frames, pictures out of the frames.
Yeah, that pissed me off enough anyway.
Yeah. And then, but then when they did that, I thought, oh, that's how cruel.
Yeah.
How awful. And her scream, I just was like,
oh,
no. Oh, this is so
I just lost it. Yeah, I just lost it completely. I was just like, oh God, I could just imagine how that would feel. Like, this is her kids, you know, and oh God, I honestly, I was like,
memories of at the end. She was yelling at the daughter for spilling her the stuff, and it was a crazy morning. She and her husband had been arguing about something, and then she later finds out he had an affair. So her last memories of her family aren't like, you know, they weren't on a picnic.
Yeah.
And so she's just like, and then they were placed in the same, like, how'd they know where they were sitting? That's freaky. Yeah, I didn't like that, but that was, yeah, guilty remnant.
So, but it does make you believe that how that season ends. Because if you think about it just from a distance, like a whole town going completely crazy and effectively burning itself down seems like quite a far-fetched thing to happen.
Yeah.
But after episode 9, you're almost like, how could it not happen? Like, how could, because you've got people grieving and you've got people, frankly, just taking the piss. You know?
Exactly.
It's like, this is an absolute car crash.
And the police couldn't do anything. The police couldn't do much.
No.
I mean, the guilty remnant didn't care if they got beat up. They were beating each other up. They were stoning each other. It was just total chaos. And with that whole place, the whole cul-de-sac of all those houses burning up at the end, and Laurie finally speaking, because when Jill joined, and I think it was just to like I don't know if she was trying to make a point to Laurie, or like, if you're going to join, I'm going to join, and I'm not going to speak either, and I'm not, you know, strip ourselves of our clothes, and we're just going to wear white, and we're going to smoke, and we're going to. I thought, Jill, what are you just trying to be close to your mom? Like, what's happening? And then I thought, oh gosh, she's going to die in the fire. Then we've got guilt to deal with. But anyway, that was.
We're traumatized.
Yeah.
Traumatized.
Yeah.
I thought she was a goner. I didn't think he was going to save her in that fire.
He kept looking, and people were just laying there, and I thought, she's not going to be alive. If they're dead, she's going to be dead.
Yeah.
But I'm glad the way that it ended, and how Laurie met up with Tommy, and then Tommy had put baby Lily on the porch, and Nora was trying to say goodbye, and then Kevin was with Jill, and everybody ends up at the house, and so that was sweet. But
that was one of my most like complete endings, I think, to any episode on the show. Actually, that kind of feeling of, oh, like even like the dog, you know, they get reunited with the dog that they were trying to tame, and he's all tame, and you're just like, everything's gonna be fine. The baby's gonna be taken care of. Nora's not committing suicide, and I thought she was committing suicide with that letter.
She's got a baby now. I mean,
this is all gonna be great.
Yeah, it could have ended. Where's Gabrielle, Celeste? I know you're talking about. Is she on here? You really had her thinking that was the end. It could have ended in season 1. I'm glad it didn't, but it could have. Okay. Does anybody want to ask us some questions? We have not looked at the chat yet.
Yeah, sorry guys.
Ask us about season 1. Okay, Gabrielle's here. See on there.
Oh yeah.
He says,
Oh, that's interesting. Pete Burrito said, apparently, look what I found was actually the last line in the book.
Oh,
so
okay.
at the end of that episode, when Nora's like,
so that was pretty much on point.
That's brilliant.
Oh yeah, the Gladys scene was very hard to watch. Oh
God.
I just uploaded the I tried not to show a lot of it in the reaction because it was bad enough to just watch it.
Yeah.
Because you're afraid to look away because something wonderful might happen. But you don't know. It's like I can't, like when you're reacting, you can't just kind of cover your eyes and then rewind it and go back. You have to.
No, you got to stay in it.
So when I just put out on Patreon the full episode of that episode of season 5, and
I can't wait to see that.
I was going through and I was like, oh, I've got to show this whole thing. These poor people. Sorry.
Yeah, that was another meltdown for me. I don't think, bar, certain moments.
Please don't.
Yeah, and it's just like all of the blood is dripping off her, and I can't even tell if she's wetting herself. There's just all of this water coming from her.
I've heard of stoning, but you think, okay, somebody's getting stoned to death. How bad can that be? I mean, it's like getting beaten to death, maybe. But then you see that, and it's like, oh, that's horrible. Yeah. Like what's worse? Like what can be worse than that? That slow death, right in the face and in the that was terrible. Okay. What was our favorite scene from season 1? Kimberly wants to know. Dang it, my favorite scene.
Favorite scene? I think I'm going to go for 2 boats and a helicopter. It's not even a scene, it's a moment. Okay. It's when he's just beat the guy senseless on the floor of the car park who tried to nick the cash. So this is mad. He's beat the guy. And then he stands up, he gets in the car, he puts his hands on the steering wheel and he goes, ah! And music comes in. It's like, doom, 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 doom. Love will keep us together.
That was good. I was so mad. I was like, lock your door. Lock your door. Who doesn't get their car and lock their door?
Because you're so like, I know where this is going. Someone's gonna come, nick the money, and then he's gonna lose the church. And it's I've seen it all before. Kind of not literally that much, but you figure you've got this episode nailed at that point. And then it was just like boom, 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 one thing after the other. And I was just beside myself, just like I can't. And to do that with music in that way, as well, to use music as a comedy tool, I've really not seen much of before. I can't think off the top of my head right now of another show that's done that so well. Where it was just like scene cut, new music, boom, and that would probably be my favorite moment.
Yeah, I'll have to think of mine because I can't think right now. Kevin and Patty in the cabin. That was in Cairo, right? What was that? Episode 9?
Episode 8?
8?
Yeah.
That was crazy. Kevin's sleepwalking was really tripping me out. Because I was like, Kevin, like, what's going on? And then I was wondering, did his dad go through that before he went crazy? And
exactly
all that, and talking to
well, they kept referring to the security alarm being turned off as well. Like there are about 3 or 4 different references through that season of like he's like touching the security system, or he talks to Jill at one point and he's like, why
was the alarm on?
Why is
right.
Why do you keep referencing this alarm? And then I got it, like, oh, okay, that's why, because he was waking up at night, he was turning the alarm off, that he was going out. So so they did that really well, the build up to finally getting, well, we didn't finally get, I mean, it took to season 2 to get quite how crazy Kevin was, but even I say that, how crazy he is, I still believe in dead Patty.
Dead Patty rule. I hate
And
it.
like, even though I'm saying, oh, he's mad, like he's having these delusions and da 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 da. But I believe in Dead Patty. I believe in the hotel. Like I believe in all. It's just like two things are true at the same time.
I know. That's
It screws with you.
okay. Wait, there was a question up here. George asks, what do you think about the death, excuse me, death of Patty in season 1? I didn't think at all she was going to kill herself. I thought that something was that they were going to have to let her go. But even though she said, you know, you'll lose your child, I will tell the authorities who my aggressors or captors were, or whatever she says. And I thought that's going to be the end of it. But and as also in the Psychology of Kevin, it says her point was to make him understand what she was saying.
Yeah.
Because she was like, I need you to understand me.
Yeah. And
then she didn't leave from there after he took the bag off and all that. And then she just ended it. And then, yeah, it was sad. I didn't see it coming. There was nothing to do about it.
Yeah, I thought, first of all, he's never going to kill her. But then, like, I would have thought before the episode, he'd never kidnap her and tie her up in a shed in the middle of Cairo, New York. So it was really kind of, I'm on a knife edge.
And nailed his shirts to the tree. The shirts that were missing, he nailed them to the tree. He's we were
bonkers,
like,
absolutely bonkers. And yeah, I can remember feeling really angry. I think I've got a little clip that I use, like a montage of like my reactions to Patty through the seasons, because like by the end I'm like, I love Patty. And so I can now.
Did you say you made a video of it?
I just included it, so I have like a little insert that I put in. Oh God, I've forgotten the episode title. Season 3 episode, basically world. And kind of when Patty arrives in that episode, I'm like, oh yay, I love Patty. And I can remember thinking in the moment, I used to hate Patty. So when I edited the video and put it together, I included this little montage of like my past reactions to Patty. And one of them is the reaction to her killing herself in Cairo. And I just lose it. I'm like hitting the chair and like, damn it, Patty. I was really angry at her. I felt like she totally manipulated him.
Yeah.
She put him in an awful position. I know he kidnapped her, but from that point on, it was the Patty show. He was not in control.
It was. And I thought she'd be off the show. And I'm ever so glad to see her at, you know, like in his mind. But we saw her and she was so hilarious.
I love Dead Patty.
I love Dead Patty.
Yeah. She's freaking hilarious.
I was just like, you are hilarious. And she's a great actress. I mean, she just.
Oh, she is. I can't imagine anyone else playing Patty as well as she did, actually. She brought so much to it. And like the moments where she'd get really deep and then she'd have tears in her eyes and you'd just be like, oh, God. And yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see. Are there any questions you want to read off? I went up a little bit. We're going to move on to season 2 in a second, but
it's a duck. Everyone's doing Patty quiz.
Okay, that's season 2.
It's a fucking duck.
It's like duck. Like I figured it out.
Oh,
I love that part. And okay, that's in season 3 when he smashes her glasses. I've never laughed so hard in my life.
That scene is just fantastic. It's just she doesn't say anything. She's just like slowly picking away at the glasses. And you're like, we're 5 minutes from a nuclear apocalypse, and you're pissing about.
I need to. Woo! Oh my gosh! Yeah, Chaos is a ladder. Midnight Luna.
I
can't wait for that show to come back. God help me get through to April.
Oh,
but these
I can't wait either.
These shows are getting us through. It's
Yeah.
Okay.
Where do you want to go? Do you want to go into season 2?
Yeah, let's go ahead and start season 2. Patty all day long. Nancy says, wait until you see Ann Dowd and Handmaid. Well, I probably will. I enjoy her as an actress now. I mean, she was quiet for how many episodes until she took Lori to that diner and she started speaking, and Lori didn't say a word. She didn't really have time to say a word, but like that's the only time I heard her talk until she was kidnapped and then crazy. Yeah. Okay. What do you think? George asks, what do you think was the whole history of John Murphy's dad? I hate John Murphy's dad. Why did they have to make him a pedophile? What did that tie into? What's his name? Virgil?
Virgil.
I hate him.
Virgil, which is like a classic. But yeah, it's weird. I was watching it back because in your reactions, I noticed like you really remembered he was a paedophile all the way through. You're like, you're a paedophile.
I hate him.
I just like forgot. It just kind of went out of my mind. I think once we kind of got to the hotel. But I in the moment, like I keep playing it over. I was really confused. Like, who did he abuse? When? What? It was actually something that took me a while to get my head around because I couldn't figure out whose dad he was.
I couldn't either.
To begin with.
Erica's, because she just said grandpa, and I thought, oh, okay.
I'm like, okay. So first of all, I thought he was Erica's dad, and then it's like Kevin thinks he's John's dad,
right?
You know, in the most powerful adversary, because he says to John, "Oh, you know, I spoke to the old man. I heard about what he did to you. You know, I'm really sorry." And at that point, I was like, "Oh my God, he abused John."
But then John denied it. Why did
I was like, did he abuse Evie? Like, I just
right.
I mean, it's irrelevant. You know, I don't think it's actually.
I think it was either Erica or one of the kids, because if John tried to kill him, you know what I mean? How you'd family, like if you ever touch my kids, like I'll go to jail. That's fine.
Yeah.
And when Kevin was like, "Why did you go for attempted murder?" He was like, "Because I didn't try hard enough." It's like, got it. But then when you realize it was him, it's like, oh, maybe you should have tried harder.
Absolutely. And it is just, you know, it's about the worst thing any of us can think of.
Right. But why was he important in the woods with the Christmas lights? And had he sent somebody there before to the underworld? Like, what was with the poison and come see me? And he knew stuff about Nora in the hardware store. Remember that?
Yeah, I mean, I totally thought. I mean, I've got Patty in my head going, a magical black man is going that's borderline racist. That.
Marianne, are you seeing Patty right now?
I am. She's just sitting over here.
Run, Nancy, run. Okay, continue. Everything's fine.
She's running for Prime Minister.
Why not? Go ahead. Maybe the song will stop the rain. Okay. Sorry, you were saying? You said
I can't remember. Oh yeah, it was just, you know, I really felt like he was genuinely magical in that whole thing. But if I try on for a moment, let's take my opinion off. So my opinion is he was magic. He did send Kevin to the hotel. He was his guide. That all happened. Okay. But consider for a moment, it didn't. Like, he didn't send him to the hotel, and all that happened was, you know, Kevin,
he just killed him,
out, had a vivid dream and woke up. Like, that scene looks very different. You know, you've just got a kind of guy who abuses children poisoning a guy and then shooting himself in the face. You know, so no wonder.
Different. Yeah,
it really makes you want to believe that something magical happened, because it's unbearable. I mean, also just Kevin being buried for as long as he was. I'm pretty sure that was unsurvivable. Like, what happened to him?
I know.
When so I really believe he went to the hotel and that whole thing happened. But I also believe Laurie when she's like, "You guys are all crazy."
And when she says about, because she knows and she went to school and studied and became a PhD to learn about the brain and how it works and how it kicks in to deal with things. And it, it's your, what your subconscious does for you and all this stuff. I thought, well, that makes sense.
Yeah. I was like, oh man, in fact, that's what just happened to me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'm sat here believing this paedophile is a magical genie.
Right. Yeah.
Because otherwise, I mean, what else do I believe that he, so yeah, they're really clever with that all the way through of just like,
and then
you end up choosing to believe.
And then when he was in the hotel as well, like you said, it was like, but did he recognize Kevin or not? Well, no, he did, because he took him to
he did
the parking garage.
And like Mary was in the hotel. That was really weird. So
I thought, when did she die?
Yeah.
That's weird.
So it's like, is she in between worlds? Because she was in the coma, that she stayed in the hotel, and then she checked out when Nora woke her, in that's season 2 as well. So when she comes around during the earthquake, and Kevin's hotel stuff always happens around earthquakes too. There's always the stuff going on. So it all kind of tied together to say, yeah, this hotel is like some sort of manifestation of a purgatory kind of situation, where you're somewhere between life and death, and you have to kind of put yourself in a sort of, almost dead situation to gain access to this hotel. And so yeah, I totally bought it by the end of episode 8 is the International Assassin, isn't it? Yeah. And yeah, by the end of International Assassin, I was completely signed up to that the hotel was real.
Yeah.
Magic had happened.
Right.
He had defeated literal Patty. She wasn't a manifestation of his own identity or anything. Like, he defeated Ghost Patty.
That part of him that was
that
he was fighting with and trying to.
And those are the 2 readings. Is he fighting with himself?
Right.
And Patty has manifested as a version of himself. And I mean,
the chaos part. Yeah.
And to be honest, the finale kind of confirmed, not the finale, the final death scene with him and Patty, the Nuki episode in season 3, that sort of confirms that theory. When Patty explains, you brought me back. You made me vice president or whatever, and Secretary of Defense.
Right.
And that he has to kill himself inside of this thing to finally be released. So I think when you tie them all together, I think it's hinting at, like the psychology of Kevin says, what you're witnessing is a personal journey into himself.
Yes.
With kind of characters around who represent elements of himself and his psychology that, he's trying to wrestle with.
Yeah. Which she was the head and the leader of the guilty remnant, which was causing him all these problems back in New York.
Exactly.
And that's what he had to deal with.
Yeah.
Had to put an end to it. So that kind of freed him of her. And
so well done. And that is heartbreaking. That is truly heartbreaking. That Jeopardy story. You remember the Jeopardy story that Patty tells when she's in the well?
And she had enough money. And yeah.
You're just like,
I know. And then when they showed her as a child as well, it made you think, it humanized her even more.
Yeah.
Because at that point, she was just fun, and we could see that she was messing with Kevin because he was talking to nobody, but we could see her. Just like he kept looking at his dad, like, stop talking to nobody. We're realizing that he's doing it too, and it's like, it was sad to see that, and it humanized Patty, that everybody is a child at one point, and then they go their own way. But that's how she was represented to him with her husband Neil, the one like as he was, and then it was difficult. And then he met David Burton on the bridge, and I couldn't figure out who he was for the life of me. I think people had to tell me. I was like, I don't know. I don't understand who that person is. What did he say in his ear? I couldn't hear him.
Oh, yeah. And we don't find out until literally like 2 seasons later, we find out. And to be honest, by then I'd forgotten I ever cared
I did too. I did too. When he brought it up, I was like, "Oh yeah, what was it? You're the most powerful man on earth." Okay, great, whatever. Go for it.
Right.
Oh, yeah, Neil's fetish. Okay, we're not going into that. That was brought up in the diner. And she kept telling that story, and she was like, she was just talking to Lori, and she was just like, "Can I go to the bathroom?" Or, "Well, can I be excused?" And I thought, is she's drunk? What is happening?
I didn't even want to say what I thought she was doing. I can remember kind of thinking, wait, no. And then we get that little backdrop later on. It's like, oh, but that's another thing. I gotta say, that's another thing I love about The Leftovers. There are no loose ends. There's no wasted dialogue. So they always pay things off. Like that is like, you took about what, like a season worth of episodes to move from like, may I be excused, to, you know.
Yeah. Well, that's what he wanted. So there.
Yeah, fantastic. It's brilliant. So what about your characters in season 2? Like, who did you fall in love with? Who did you end up, like, really, who pissed you off?
Well, in season 2, I still love my cutie patootie. I still love Kevin. He was so tortured, but I still was hanging in with him. And I was trying to put myself in his shoes. I think I tried to put myself in his shoes, and then eventually Nora's.
Yeah.
Season 2, because I have her down as my second favorite.
Yeah.
My season 2. Patty, I didn't think she'd be one of my favorites, but she became probably my third favorite, just because she's like there but not there.
Yeah. Like, can I count her as a favorite?
I know. But I still didn't like Jill, even though she's getting better. But Meg. Meg in season 2 was just a problem. Because
I felt murderous.
Of how she'd already been to Miracle. Or was that in season 3? No, that was
season 2. Yeah.
2. Yeah. So I was like, wait a minute, is she taking over? And then she that's when she had raped Tommy. And I was like, and again, Tommy was not the bigger picture of good or bad. Like, he wasn't a favorite or a least favorite, but kind of there. But he was fun. And, you know, and I was like, I liked Kevin. So I was always like, okay, because I like Kevin, I like.
Exactly. You cared about Kevin caring about Tom.
Upset. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. It wasn't a direct like, but Meg definitely. God, that was just so messed up.
I can't stand her.
Yeah. Who's your, did yours change any in season 2?
Yeah, it really did. Because by the end of season 2, I was so angry at Nora. I was like, and I was, the moment it happened, I think I started to get really done with Nora's bullshit. It was, I mean,
I remember you actually saying in an episode. I remember you saying something about,
I'm done. Yeah. I think it was Lens, and you get, so Nora's has that showdown with Erica, and I was team Erica in that entire. I mean, firstly, that is one of the most extraordinary scenes of television I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah,
like the acting chops on those two, because there's not a music. I think I say in the thing, I'm like, there's not so much as a room violin. There's nothing. It's just their faces and their words. That's it. Yeah. And I was on the edge of my seat. It was like, you know, Battle of the Bastards or something. You know, I was just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
You know, and like, it's you watch this like power exchange between the two of them, and there's no like that moment. This is the exact line. It's when Erica is just like explaining how much pain she's in, and how responsible she feels for what's happened to her daughter, you know, which is how Nora feels about what's happened to her kids. This is a moment they could come together and be like,
I remember saying that.
What you mean? I am falling apart. I spend every day living with this guilt. And instead, she's like, but I evolved. I moved past it. It's just like, you're lying. You are being shot by prostitutes.
Yeah, he went past it real well.
You paid like $1,000 to have a man hug you in the hopes it made you feel better.
Right.
You've just nicked the questionnaire for the Departed thing. You've paid $3 million for $3 million for a house just so you can feel safe. You are not okay.
A broken down.
You're not okay. So yeah, I got really frustrated at that point.
Yeah,
really frustrated because
I agree.
I feel like she regressed.
Mm-hmm.
Characters were regressing and kind of really developing how they were dealing with, life, the universe, faith, and everything else. Because it kind of felt like Nora was going back.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was really frustrating. So Nora went down. Meg, I think, was my least favorite character of the whole season. I mean, I liked watching her, don't get me wrong, but I really hated her by the end of that season. The rape of Tommy, that whole scene in Miracle with the bridge and the bomb.
She was worse than Patty ever was.
She threw a grenade into a school bus. It didn't go off, but a school bus, those kids are going to be traumatized forever.
Yeah.
She really scares me, actually. I got to be honest. I find Meg probably one of the scariest characters in anything. Because she was just like, fair play to Liv Tyler.
Laugh, and you knew it was like, she's crazy.
Uh-oh. Yeah. Like, what's she going to do next?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what the people around her were thinking. But when she became in charge, I thought, she's worse than Patty ever had been. I would not have been so hard on Patty if Meg had been in charge in season 1. Let's just say that.
Yeah, true. Well, Patty would have looked like the moderate. And
she did all that stuff. Patty was just very quiet and was writing stuff down and just wanted everybody to, they did some weird stuff. I mean, they did kill Gladys, but
sorry, Gladys. Yeah. Apart from Gladys, they were fine.
But what made them worse?
See, this show is like Game of Thrones. It messes with your moral code because you find yourself in weird moral situations.
It does. It does. By the end, you're just going, kill them. Take their head off.
Burn them all.
Burn them all. Okay. Somebody said Liv Tyler was superb. She was great. She's a great actress. I've loved her since Armageddon. I don't know if she was in anything before that, but that's when I really liked her as an actress. Of course, Lord of the Rings.
Of course.
My favorite movie. Let's see. Okay, season 2. Oh. Okay, we're moving on past Neil. Nora versus Erica equals supernatural versus science. Yeah. Woman of science versus woman of faith. Did you see that? That's like Lost.
Someone's just put, can you imagine Meg and Ramsey together? Midnight Luna.
Oh God. And them having a child? Oh, that'd be the devil. That would be Satan himself is born.
They would be a match made in hell, quite literally.
Exactly. Okay, let's move on to season 3.
Yep.
Okay, season 3, guys. My favorites are still Kevin, Nora, Patty, and then Laurie moved in there. I really enjoyed when she became normal and we got some back stuff on her even.
Yeah.
And I could see why maybe she felt like she couldn't thrive anymore in the house or with them and needed to turn to a patient of hers, Patty, and do what they did and just whatever. Yeah. But I liked her, and I don't really know if I have a least favorite in season 3.
No.
I tried to think of one and I was like, not really.
No, it just wasn't about that anymore, really. It was
No.
kind of, we
No.
didn't really have a baddie.
Right. There wasn't no one.
You know,
I was like, oh, here we go again. Because Wayne was
Yeah.
dead, and you know, who else?
the whole thing was just like an odyssey, season 3. It was really like from Good Day Melbourne, I think, which is probably my favorite episode.
Oh, I really thought we were all seeing Evie. I mean, well, because that's what they showed us, but you know what I mean? Like, I felt like I had been seeing things.
Yeah. I did it. I think me and you had basically an identical reaction to that episode.
And I was
We
like,
were just sitting there going, show me the picture. Show me the picture.
exactly. Yeah.
It's like, I want to believe it. I feel like I believe it. But they've got this picture out there that I can't see. And until I've seen that picture, I can't commit to this moment. And I really want to commit to it. Especially when the guy saw her. So first of all, you're thinking maybe Kevin is seeing things.
Like
but then the guy who punches him in the face is like, is he bothering you, ma'am? So you're like,
he goes,
it's not dead, Evie.
Yeah. And
it's alive, Evie.
And
it develops from there, and you get more and more excited. And when he sees her in the library and everything's there, and it's just like, I wanted it to be Evie. I think I wanted, because that whole Evie thing, it is sad. It is really sad and painful, that whole Evie storyline. And so I was desperate for it to be Evie too, because I wanted some completion.
Yeah.
Like, you always want a redemption arc. Oh, yeah.
You know what? I just thought of something. What if John Murphy's dad did mess with her and she didn't want to go on? Because it's like, why did she not want to be with her family anymore?
Well, and also the note she gives Erica on the bridge, and Erica's on that bridge with her, and she says, I don't understand. And I mean, this happens like
and she goes,
3 times.
You do understand. And she goes, you do
understand.
So it's like, did her mom know? Like, was that, I don't know. Because we never got a clear answer on that. Like, why did Evie not want to be with her parents? And even when Kevin saw her in the limo, and he was like, your dad says he loves you. And she's like, you're full of shit.
Yeah, she never comes around, ever.
Okay.
Yeah, we never get that moment with her. So,
So dead Evie was a little annoying.
Yeah.
We both
really annoying.
I just thought of that for some reason. That maybe it was her that was messed with. I don't know. Because
I think we had a chat I definitely had a chat with some of you guys who are probably on this now in the comment section, and that we were theorizing that maybe that is what she was trying to tell Erica with the you understand message. Is like, don't fuck about, mum. You know exactly why I'm doing this. You know exactly why I'm in this pain.
Right. I didn't put that together because Patty always said that. Patty would always say, I want you to hear me. You need to understand. So I thought at the time Evie was saying, you do understand, like what all this means.
Yeah.
Now I think like what y'all are saying. Yeah. But I mean, John tried to kill him. Sorry, he failed, but I don't know. It's kind of a sad storyline, but she went to that path, and that's what happened to them. We all thought that we saw her, and we were like, oh, what's she doing in Australia? How can we on TV like his dad? Like he was like, oh, this show, it would just make you think all this stuff. It was like, am I seeing it? Yeah, he's seeing it. I'm seeing it.
And it is all the time. You're constantly questioning things. I mean, especially like the whole Nora's storyline with going into the ball. Her journey to the machine.
Yes.
Meeting with the people. Meeting with the guy in the hotel, the actor guy from Perfect Strangers.
I used to watch that show all the time.
I did
so funny.
It played here.
Oh my gosh. And I didn't even pick up that was the music, the theme song they were playing during those episodes was the Perfect Strangers theme. I was like, what? You used to watch the show.
Wasn't it fantastic though, that whole journey with her where you're constantly like, Does she believe it? Does she not believe it?
Right.
Is she going to bust them, or is she going to go and get radiation blown at her and God knows, you know, what's going to happen to her?
Let's see what happens. Yeah.
And I did. I wanted to go, oh, I can't. Even though I was like, this is ridiculous. It can't be real. She's probably going to die. The majority of my brain was going, do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah.
I want to see what happens.
Exactly. Where are you going to go? And I want to see it. And the rest of the season better be about that. 2 episodes, 1.5. Okay. Hey-o. Reacts is here. Yay. How you doing, buddy? Yeah. That was okay. We'll get to the very end in a minute. But season 3 started out just as confusing as season 1 with the Pilgrims. I remember seeing it start and I thought, oh, hell, now we're in another town. Are we going back to the 1800s and why?
Yeah.
Like, was this Miracle or Jordan, Texas, back in the 1800s? Like, what are we doing? But all this going up to the roof again in that video that you and I have seen, Psychology of Kevin, they mentioned in the 3rd season how the going up on the roof and waiting for a sign and waiting to be taken. And then when Kevin comes back after everything is said and done and he kills himself, the identical twin, whatever.
Yeah.
And we see there's no flood and his dad, Kevin Sr., sitting on that roof. They tie it all in. It's like he's sitting up there waiting.
Yeah.
And then he looks at Kevin and goes, now what?
Yeah. I mean, they're doing the same. Like, now what?
Yeah.
There's not going to be an apocalypse.
No.
Everyone's kind of separated.
We had a storm. It went away.
And we think at this point Laurie is dead. Remember, because she's
committed. She went scuba diving. I didn't know if I was looking at dead Laurie because we've seen ghosts in the past.
Yeah.
Laurie was dead, and I thought, why is she holding a child?
Yeah.
Where are we? Yeah.
And I've got to say, that Laurie episode, that whole episode certified also in probably my top 5 episodes of the entire
I enjoyed that
series. That was brilliant. And that final scene with they just leave you waiting. You know she's gonna do it, and you don't want her to.
Her kids call.
Yeah.
They're arguing, and she's loving it because she's hearing them. And I'm thinking, that's it. That's it. That's the last thing she's gonna hear.
I mean, I didn't believe it was gonna happen so much that I didn't cry until the credits came in.
Right.
I was inconsolable for like 10 minutes. I just sat there trying to do my review, crying my eyes out.
Oh,
because I was just destroyed. And I think it was that point where I realized she had somehow become my favorite character,
right,
without me even realizing it.
Yeah,
I'd completely fallen in love with her. You know, the episode
I before on the boat too when they had
my god, the boat
with Matt and she was just like, I was like, take Laurie. It's hilarious.
It was like Laurie in kind of season 3 felt like to me Nora in season 1. Like, this is the character that you can trust, you can rely on. She's zero bullshit at all times.
Saying it as it is. Like, you know what she thinks. She's like, yeah, this, you know, you're talking crazy, but whatever.
Loved it. So I was ecstatic when we later saw her with Jill, you know, Jill's daughter, and we're like, she's a grandma. She's like, she looks together.
And then you find out she and John are still living right next door to Kevin because he tells her, and you're like, oh, okay. Jill had a baby. Jill's married. Tommy was. It didn't work out. It's okay. Okay. Yeah. That was interesting that they're still all in Jordan being neighbors.
Yeah. I mean, and when you see like I'm veering into finale territory, so wheel me back if it's too early.
I know we're getting okay.
But I did think, when you think about what you just said about everything that's gone on in Jordan, Jill's had kids, you know, Tommy's been married and divorced, you know, all of this stuff that's happened. And then Nora, he's off in the middle of the desert at the outback in Australia, part of a sort of fake dove love message service with a nun who's shagging some bloke. It is like, wow, these are some. I got to be honest, I love Laurie, but I'm doubting her skills as a therapist.
Same time next week. It should be every day. Something's going wrong, Lori.
I think we need to make this a bit more intensive, Nora, because
shock
stuff is not unsticking fast enough.
These phone calls aren't doing it. I have really lost my shit. And I'm attached to these birds, and all I do is feed them. My hair's growing long, and I don't wear makeup anymore. I look like hell. I don't care. Okay, I agree. I know.
Yeah.
What else was season 3? There was something I was going to mention.
It was just packed. I mean, you just there wasn't a filler episode. Well, there isn't a filler episode from season 2, episode 9. That's my only weak episode of the entire thing, and even that's not weak. It's just by the leftover standards. It's where Meg, we get the we get the Evie reveal at the end, but prior to that, it's just kind of Tom hanging around with Meg.
Yeah.
And they, and it's just kind of like, I don't like you. There are 2 great scenes: the Evie reveal and when Meg's like facing off with Matt just outside Miracle, and he's like, I don't think you're telling me the whole story, Meg. So that's good. But
I like Columbo.
Really, season 3 for me was like, I couldn't fault a minute of it. Not a minute. All the way through, I was just like completely wrapped. There were so many. There were a lot. Each character had their distinct mission.
Yes.
And their little personal battle that was going on, and it really accelerated for me. And I just, there's so many. Trying to pick a favorite episode of that season is really difficult. Really difficult. I think it would probably be maybe, I don't know, 4, 6. Oh, but I really like it's a Matt world. Yeah, impossible.
Everything tied in.
Yeah.
Kind of like with Lost.
Yeah.
Or with Game of Thrones. Any great series, okay, it's not maybe your favorite episode.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones, season 1, episode 1. It's not anybody's favorite. Let's just be honest. But we were introduced to everybody, and that you have to have that.
Yeah.
So you have to have all the episodes, because when you rewatch it, or when you're doing something like this and you're thinking back, it's like, wow.
Yeah.
That came into play 3 years later or 7 years later, because we were 7 years, we were when the show started, we were 3 years after the disappearance, and then we were 7 years at the end.
Yeah.
Something big was going to happen again, and it was like we were all like, and then Nora was going to go, and it was like, is she?
Did you think that Kevin Garvey Sr. was going to stop the rains? Did you think that did you think there was going to be a flood?
No.
No.
I did not think there was going to be a flood. I did not. Now, the Itsy Bitsy Spider song, like when we were starting with him and he was doing the dancing before he got arrested, I'm like, you're sane now. You're supposed to be sane.
Yeah.
And you've gone to Australia. You're still acting crazy. You've got this paint down your nose, and stop it. You're being a nuisance now in Australia. He was wanted and all this stuff. And he ended up killing he didn't mean to land on the guy, but when he was looking for the song, I was kind of wanting to know about the song. It was kind of the thing like, I was curious. I didn't think it was anything. I was like, we're in season 3, Michele, of this show, and Kevin died, and we've been to a hotel, and so much stuff's happened. Like, just go with it. Let's see if something does happen, and he gives him a song. Like, what's it going to be? And then he dies, and I'm like,
But I wanted to get the
We're
song.
supposed to get the song. And
Yeah.
I didn't believe in the song, and I didn't think the flood was coming. So I don't know. But it made me do that. It made me go,
Yeah, me too. I was actually really invested in his little mission,
yeah,
even though I did not believe it at all.
Right.
The only question I had at that point, just very briefly, was what if there is no Kevin Sr.?
oh,
What if Kevin and Kevin Sr. are actually the same person? There was, and I don't still believe this, so I'm not, don't massacre me in the comments.
blowing my mind.
Yeah, because there's a line when he rings up Matt and he's like, you know, I'm not a character in his story. He's like a character in my story.
Right.
And I just kind of thought for a moment, and they were like, shoot, for some reason that season, they kept shooting Kevin Sr. the same way they normally shoot Kevin Jr. It's really interesting if you watch it back. They have quite distinct shots, like camera shots for each character.
Maybe showing similarities, but you were taking it as.
Yeah, and I was like, are they fucking with us? Is this going to be like some weird timeline situation, like Lost? You know, your dad's come back to kill you. I was really spun out for a minute, and then I was like, no, you can't watch the whole show, second guessing everything, and got back in my box. But it was,
That's crazy.
I like Kevin Sr.
Yeah. Oh, somebody mentioned what's his real name?
Scott Glenn.
Scott Glenn. Yeah, he's awesome.
I'm actually watching him in Castle Rock at the moment.
I was gonna say I know he's in one of the other.
No spoilers.
I reacted to the trailer. Not everybody's voted yet. I'm keeping the poll open. It's Handmaid's Tale is still ahead, but Black Mirror is next, and then Castle Rock is third. I think still. So
I'm surprised. I thought it was going to be a Castle Rock Handmaid's Tale showdown. I was really surprised by Black Mirror.
I know.
Yeah. Sorry, that's off topic, people.
Sorry, we got to talk about Scott Glenn. But Quinn, what's his name from Lost? John Locke
Quinn
is in one of the ones I reacted to too.
It is Castle Rock as well.
Is that Castle Rock? Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of good
Sister
actors. I'm watching all these at some point. I'm just gonna not take a poll anymore and just start watching them. Okay.
Anyway.
All
Shall we
right.
get to the finale, or should we do questions?
Let's do some questions. Okay, this is a question for both of us. Do we believe that David Burton was divine, or just like a Kevin, but more full of himself? Like, did he die and come back? This is from Pew Burrito.
Do you know what?
You know how he said he was God?
What did you think? Did you think it was God?
I mean, who witnessed that he came back from the dead? Who had said that? Remember?
His friend. So his friend, I actually rewatched the It's a Matt World.
Right.
I just called it It's a Matt World. From here on, It's a Matt World. I know the real title. So the captain of the ship tells Matt the story of David Burton, and he says that basically when he's had this fall, his friend goes to get help, and when he brings the police back, David Burton is sitting outside the cave, fine and dandy, and he says he's gone. So really, the only witnesses we have that this happened at all are David Burton and the friend.
One person, right? So I don't.
You know, there's not one.
Yeah, that's what I think.
You have to consider him a reliable narrator to believe he's God. And this guy has just thrown someone off a boat. He's like, but I suppose we saw him in the afterlife, didn't we, with Kevin? So he put the noose around Kevin's throat on the bridge way back.
Oh, yeah.
In International Assassin.
Little girl Patty. Right. But why was
there is evidence both ways.
But why was he in his ear and then in season 3 and then said he was God when he went and when he was the president and went back?
Because Kevin hadn't met Kevin hadn't met David Burton.
No.
But
He
we
saw
did get a
him
clue.
when
He
had
was
to
on the
sing.
television, though. If you remember, there was a media report about David Burton.
Yeah.
I think during season 2, just in the background. And I only picked up on it like you, because I'd seen the letter before that was about Sydney, Australia. We both just watched Lost.
Right.
So it sticks in your mind. And so, yeah, it is possible that Kevin could have seen a news report about David Burton.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how David Burton featured in his. So that you could make the case both ways. This is what I tell people whenever they're saying to me about anything in the show, this happened. I'm like,
did it?
This is the point of the show. You're telling me this happened. The whole point of the show is that you don't know what's happened.
Exactly.
It's about which pieces of evidence you choose to weigh more heavily than other pieces of evidence, who you trust more than other people, and you just kind of put it together in your own way and go, okay, this is my working theory.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with this. I'm going to stick with this.
And what was the whole thing with when they got on the ferry? They weren't supposed to say the phrase that Matt ended up saying, bless his heart.
Frasier.
But the lion, there was that story Lori had explained about why they were bringing this lion. It had to impregnate and all this stuff. The lion ends up eating David Burton. So that has to mean something. Stop laughing. The lion ate David Burton.
It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen on television. It's that he gets eaten, and then it's that when Matt just turns around and he goes, "That's the guy I was telling you about."
That's God. That's him. Red hat.
It works on both levels. It's like he means it literally, David Burton, but it's also like God. You know, it's like he's a reverend. This is
he's
the guy.
Eaten by a lion.
Yeah.
That would happen. God
the
would
guy.
eaten by a lion.
Yeah.
That's him.
It's weird. So I would answer that question. I don't know. I can't possibly know if David Burton is God or not.
Yeah.
I don't think that David Burton is God.
I don't.
But I also interacted with him in the hotel scenes and everything else as if he actually was
a
guide. So you know, all over the place.
Right. He played some part, but I don't think he was that either. A false prophet. Some Mad Mike 2957 says maybe.
Yeah.
That's always up in history and mythical and in the Bible is there's false prophets. Lion, the tribe of Judah. So I think if they wanted to pass that off as a story and he had the cards made and played the part, I don't think he, like you said, it's only him and that other guy that know what really happened. And they might have just been playing that up because a bunch of crazy shit was happening in the world at the time. Why not? They're going to believe anything. 2% of the people have disappeared.
Yeah.
But guess what? I died.
You're desperate. You're desperate for someone to make it mean something.
Yeah.
You know, just please explain this so I have something.
Yeah. Little Wayne did his hugs.
Yeah.
That was his thing. But this other
guilty
guy
with the smoking and then
But then we saw Kevin die, so it was like you didn't know what to think. But we both don't think he's God. To get into the question. In a roundabout way. Okay. A lot of people want to know
the ending. They want us to get to the ending.
Most important question of all: do we believe Nora? I don't lie. That's what it is.
I love that Damon Lindelof has set us all up with this finale, where he says, you know, we had a clear intention with this finale, and if you watch it back again, you'll see it's clearly explained. I think that is Damon Lindelof taking the piss out of all of us.
I didn't. Yeah. I saw that and I thought, don't lock me into that. I didn't say I agreed with that. I don't. Yeah, I believe her.
I believe her. I can't lie. I believed her in the moment, and I still believe her now. And at the same time, it again is not the most important thing about that exchange, I think, at the end of that, because I think both of us at the end of that episode, there was something like off. Like I can remember feeling like kind of flat at the end of the episode, and I was thinking, why do I feel so like there was something like, I love the birds, but there was something that was
Home, and
incomplete
they were
for me.
together finally, and the birds came back, and they were home. But it
And I was like, I should feel happy, but I don't feel happy. Like, why do I feel kind of off? And I said in my review, so sorry for the people who got here a second time, but for me it was because whatever happened, like whether, so let's say Nora lied. So Nora lied. So the point of her lying is that she realized that truth is less important than a good story, and she was kind of surrendering, you know, to the moment and going along with Kevin, and they were going to try something new, and Kevin was just going to accept her story at face value. Well, that doesn't fulfill me, because I don't think the biggest issue in Nora and Kevin's relationship was Nora's honesty or Kevin's ability to believe someone else's version of events.
Yeah.
It was the failure of both of them to be honest with each other about how they were feeling and what they were dealing with.
Finally.
And so if
totally honest.
Exactly. And it was like his reaction, there was so much about the way that Kevin was in that finale, which to me felt like he hadn't changed from season 1. You know, I think I put little inserts in during the episode to show you like flashbacks to previous scenes where he's behaving the same way. And so it's like all this time's passed, all of this experiences have happened. And by the way, this isn't a criticism of the finale. This is why I think the finale is brilliant. Because it shows us that he hasn't necessarily broken his patterns of behavior, and Nora hasn't necessarily broken hers. But they're gonna go for it anyway. And so I got to be okay with that. And like the more I've kind of rewatched it, I think I'm, you know, editing, you watch a thing 3 or 4 times anyway, because you're going over and over to pick the right sentence. So I've watched it all of those times, and I've watched it 3 times all the way through from beginning to end. And I've obviously watched your reaction. And I love it more every time I watch it. It's really weird. It's really grown on me. And I think it's because I've given up that they're ever going to be perfect for each other. I've just let it go.
They're both broken.
And they're just muddling their way through.
Yeah. And it just works. Both of their imperfections work for each other.
Yeah.
Whether it's destructive or not. Because at first I thought, oh, they're both so, I mean, he was putting the bag over his head. She was having people shoot her. You know, it was like, because when she caught him with the bag on his head in season 2, she was like, it's okay.
Yeah.
And he looked at her like, it's okay.
Are you crazy? Like,
I thought
about?
Yeah.
She just didn't want to deal with his stuff ever. You know, like she could not deal with him being weak or vulnerable.
Yeah.
And, you know, he even says, you know, that whole, the nuke episode, because I keep forgetting what the name of it is, but, you know, the final vision where he's with Patty, you know, and all that stuff. And him, when they're reading the book that him or his identical twin brother has written.
Right.
And the story of him saying, you know, he wore the uniform of a hero, but the truth was he was terrified. He was a coward. He couldn't tell her, you know, and basically summed up, he could never be vulnerable with her. But in fairness, of course he couldn't, because Nora is not accepting of vulnerability ever. So I suppose the one takeaway from the finale is that he failed in that finale. Like, he chose the worst possible way to reconnect with Nora, to tell her a lie, to set up a pretense. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
She's going to hate. You know, turn up and say, I've missed you every day for 30 years, or however long it's been.
Right.
And I don't want to waste another second lying to you about anything. I love you.
Yeah.
Marry me, whatever. You know, kind of.
Yeah.
So, but he
hey, you're Nora, right? I met you once at a dance. What? And I'm thinking, has his memory been erased? What's the show doing to me? What?
I thought we were going to have a lost moment where everyone was dead and they were waiting, you know, sorry, spoilers.
Yeah.
But I really did. For a moment, I was like, oh.
And she kept trying to catch him out, too, at the wedding or at the dance. She kept saying, somebody's written here, Gabriel Celeste says, have you ever seen a goat sacrificed? And he goes, no, that would be weird. Because she's like, she's trying to catch glimpses of Miracle and our wife and Lily and then she asks about how are Tommy and Jill, and he's like,
"You remember my kids?"
That's kind of creepy, but fine. And I'm like, really? And she's looking at her like that too, like, are you playing this game? And then it was like, I'm done. Forget it.
She's not, she's not sold. So I guess one reading you could have of the finale moment at the end is that finally Kevin fucks up and Nora doesn't leave.
Right. Yeah.
So that is a development.
That was it.
Yeah.
They both did what they're supposed to do. And then they stayed.
But I'm not kidding. I really love the idea of her going through. I love that story that she told of
she went.
The idea of the 2%.
we haven't seen it, but she described it beautifully. It's an alternate universe. Let's all imagine it. We've seen shows about stuff like this.
I mean, we know space time and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So Mapleton was run down. She went to her home. Her husband was there, a beautiful woman. She mentioned pretty, like a pretty woman.
Twice.
She mentioned her twice. Yeah, she mentioned that twice. A pretty woman.
What made me believe it.
Yeah, she was very pretty. And my kids, curly hair, everything. And then she said, I realized I didn't belong there because she was not departed. She went. But I know why other people think, okay, well, other people that went through and was holding the magazines, like they weren't departed either, but they wanted to go through. Where are they? I don't care about them. Like this was her experience. Yeah. And maybe they wanted to be reunited with and found their loved ones.
Yeah.
She saw that they had moved on and she didn't belong there.
Yeah.
So the guy made the machine and she went back through.
I believed it. One, because it was just so true to Nora's character.
Yeah.
Like it was totally the wrong decision. Like, give the kids a chance, Nora. You've just decided, again, unilaterally, that you know what's best. You don't belong. They don't love you. But she's written this whole thing out in her head.
They've moved on.
Yeah, and can you imagine any kid in the world, you know, unless you've had an abusive parent or something like that, in an ordinary scenario where you've got, a decent parent, which Nora was. She wasn't a monster.
Right. Yeah.
Her kids would have been over the moon, to have seen her. So I was really like, no. And
I can't wait more. When we saw her, when we picked up with her delivering the pigeons.
Yeah.
And then, or whatever it was, and then with the nun, and then she went back home. I was waiting to see the kids at the house. Yeah. I was like, she found them. They're living off. Where are we? Like, what's happening? Like,
oh my God! I didn't even hope that much.
I wanted the kids to pop out. I'm like, where are they? And then
she
was still by herself. And I thought, it didn't even dawn on me that earlier when we saw the nun and Nora was old, which was what the end of season 2.
Yeah.
So I had forgotten about that and that she was in Australia and the nun had an Australian accent because I kept saying, where are we? Are we where the 2% are? Like, where are we?
Yeah.
It's
a good question because we could have been. Like, we could have been in the 2% world. I know it did go through my mind, kind of, are we still, I know there's a fan theory.
Yeah.
There is a fan theory that everybody's dead.
They're just gonna say that in the series.
Yeah, I don't believe that everybody's dead. But I also know, if I'm really being honest and examining like my own thought process, I choose to believe Nora went and saw the 2%. Like I choose to believe it. That's just I totally understand what people say about their theory of she didn't go through. I understand how you could come to that conclusion.
Last minute. Yeah. They say that and she didn't want to admit it. So she just stayed on her own. That's the other theory, but I don't choose to believe that either. And we can all choose to believe what we want. That makes me feel better. And it makes more sense to me.
So what were you kind of left with after it was all done and dusted and everything settled?
I just really wanted to see the 2%, like where it is. That's it.
Yeah.
Just a flashback of her, something.
Yeah. I can see it in my mind.
Story.
Yeah, I totally wrote it in my own mind. Like when she was telling the story,
Yes.
I was like imagining it, and then I was thinking, oh, imagine if we can have like another series, which is in 2% world.
2% stay.
Because I mean, that would be kind of Walking Dead.
And they wonder where everybody
sort of
went.
Yeah, because they've got to rebuild the world. There's only 140 million of them. You've probably lost a whole bunch of world leaders, and
Oh yeah.
so it would be really fascinating.
Yeah. Oh, that would be totally different. That would be.
Yeah.
That's interesting, and that's something that I thought of because I was like, if they ever did a spinoff of this, that would be really cool to see.
Yeah.
The other side.
Yeah, but they probably can't because then they'd confirm the ending, and I don't think they want to. I think they want us arguing forever.
They want to keep us talking about it, so they're not going to do that. But it makes sense that when Jill and Tommy were in that circle at the science fair and they were all holding hands and one person disappeared.
Yeah.
What if she was left in the schoolroom and she's not holding anyone's hand? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's possible. And then the woman that slept with Kevin, like right before, like she is like, where did he go?
Yeah.
That's possible. That's what happened.
Yep.
Nora went to that place, even though we didn't get to see it. But that's okay. Like you said, it would kind of, that, I don't know. Well, that wouldn't confirm it, but the spinoff thing would.
Yeah.
I just wanted a flashback or something. A lot of time went by. God, they had
It really did.
Everybody had gray hair and just the wrinkles but then they were just, I like to, on the Psychology of Kevin videos, when at the end, Nora always has like the final, she would say, when she said, look what I found.
Yeah.
And then the second season, what did she say?
Your home or your here?
Your home. Your
Something
home.
like that. Yeah.
The third one was I'm here.
Yeah.
They both looked at each other. So it was.
She always gets the final say. It's beautiful.
She's a woman. She's a woman.
Yeah. I did. So it helped me make peace. It helped me make peace. But yeah, I wish we'd have had a little more of Erica because I really loved Erica. I would have liked to have seen more of her. I know there are literally production reasons behind that because I think there were actually 3 actual years between the end of season 2 and the beginning of season 3.
Oh.
So it wasn't just that long. I think there was actually a gap.
She was probably doing other stuff and she thought I could do an episode or something. And
I think there was a budget issue as well. Like they really struggled to get, I think, sorry if I'm butchering this history of the show, but they actually quite struggled to get season 3 commissioned. So it was like, because viewership had plummeted and all of these sorts of things. So, but it was really amazing that they actually did commission that 3rd season.
Oh, gosh.
Anyway, because it wouldn't have been complete if we hadn't got the 3rd bit.
No.
And so they did at least get to finish the story. But I think probably if you took Damon Lindelof out for a drink and got the true story, I'm pretty sure he would say we didn't get to do everything that we'd wanted to do, and maybe had to push some characters off, and just give them get them, like Jill and Tommy in the 3rd
Jill
season.
Was in college. She appeared once, and Erica appeared once, and
they went out on a phone call.
Yeah.
so that was the end of them. We had a phone call.
That's right.
Thankfully, with Erica, at least we got to see her in that trampolining scene.
That was awesome.
That was brilliant. It gave my MVP a good way out.
How good of a friend would Erica be?
Just the best.
She went and saw Lily. I didn't realize who we were looking at. I thought she found her kids. I didn't swear. I swear. People probably think I'm high when I'm reacting. Sometimes I really catch on to things. And then sometimes I'm just like, it's right in front of me. And I'm like, who are we looking at? Oh.
Yeah.
I thought it was her kids. Yeah. But so Christine appears and then she has a new baby and then Lily's there. And Lily's like, who are you? It's like, oh. So you're almost in tears. And then she arrives at Erica's house. Then you get happy. And then she's like, how are you coping with things with Evie? And it does make sense. She said, she had closure. She said, I got to marry Evie. which is everything. Because I don't know how people make it that have people that are missing.
Oh, I don't know either.
Like,
It's
just
because you can't ever really close it out. You're like, you always have to keep a part of you open to their return.
Yeah,
and that's really painful.
That's
really painful.
And so she just was like, what did you do? And she was like, I got a trampoline. And the music they were playing, and they were jumping higher and higher. And I was just like, I still had tears in my eyes from the other scene, but I was like, yes, do it. Jump higher. Yes.
And just like, how often do you see a scene like that with two women in a TV show? Like, you really don't get that many scenes like that, where there's just like these two broken but powerful women bouncing up and down on a trampoline.
What are we gonna do? This is what's gonna free us. It's gonna make us feel better, make us happy. That's what I'm doing.
Dang it, man! We need to get ourselves some trampolines, and when we've got a really tough episode to watch, we've got to bounce it down.
I'll have a cast on my leg. That's how clumsy I am. I'll be like, I got a trampoline, got a broken arm and leg.
What are they saying?
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, that's a good. Sorry, someone's just pointed out there's another Damon Lindelof project coming up.
Oh,
it's called he's either The Watchmen or Watchmen, and that's, I think, next year that it comes out. So we're gonna have another big Lindelof project.
Okay, probably on HBO or on HBO Midnight.
Yeah,
it says. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. 2019 HBO. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Allie Merrick.
Oh,
sweet. Okay. Did you hear? I'm sorry. This is like off topic. Just a second, but there is ABC or someone making a TV show that is sort of like Lost. It's called Manifest.
What?
Have you heard about that?
No, I have not.
Go on YouTube. Look up the trailer for Manifest.
You know what, ma'am? I shit you not. I'm still holding out hope.
I just took a sip. Okay.
I am still hoping for a Lost reboot.
I
want Hugo. I want Walt. I want to see their island.
I want Charlie.
Charlie, people could visit because they've got the different rules.
Charlie.
Amazing.
Charlie bit me.
Charlie bit my finger.
He bit my finger. That's my best accent. That is fantastic. I am in London.
I'm not even going to attempt your accent. It's not happening.
Oh, come on, try.
I think the only one I can do is pause. That's it. Pause.
Pause. PAWS. Andrew Lincoln can fake an Atlanta accent. Come on.
He does rather well.
Prince Charming is in Manifest. Yeah. Have you seen Once Upon a Time?
No, I'm not watching it because I think I'd quite like to react to it. So
I think you should react to it.
Yeah.
I'll make an announcement if you react to it that everybody can watch it. There's somebody that I watch that reacts to it right now, but to be honest, I don't know. It's okay. I don't want to say that much, but it's okay.
Right, I hate
they just kind of started it, but
I hate to say this, but we got to start winding down because it's 20 to midnight in Bristol.
Oh no! What? It's only 6:40 here.
I know.
I'm sorry.
It's almost tomorrow.
How dare you be ahead of me? It's rude.
I've already done your hours.
Oh, come on. How is it Wednesday there? I'm just kidding. How's Wednesday going to be? Okay. Thank y'all, everybody, for your questions. Thank you for participating. please go. If you've already seen my reactions, please subscribe to Scriptonite. She's got to get over 1,000 subscribers. She should already have that many.
We're boutique. We're boutique.
Yes. She does leftovers in 2 parts every episode. And you probably do Castle Rock and Handmaid's Tale that way.
I do everything in 2 parts.
Because it's easier to edit. I get that.
It really is.
I'm going to start doing that for the new show. I totally agree with you. So you get to see more. So you really get 20 minutes a week of reactions. But go back and watch her leftovers. Subscribe. She has a Patreon as well. Join that. Other people are putting down they watch Jimmy's. Yes, Jimmy's reacting to it.
Yeah.
But she's doing Castle Rock and Handmaid's Tale right now. So, and I may be doing Handmaid's Tale, so I can't, and probably Castle Rock at some point. So she needs to react to Once Upon a Time, something I've seen. But I'm still subscribed.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna unsubscribe just because I'm not watching something right now.
Oh, this is what I'm hoping you get Handmaid's Tale.
It looks like it's leaning that way. I got another week of voting to go, but
think about it this way, people. If Handmaid's Tale wins the poll, then me and Mum can do a live chat again.
That's right. I'll try my best to catch up. Slow down. Do Castle Rock a little more. No, thank you for joining me, Carrie Ann. I appreciate it. I know you've got to go to bed. It's late. I haven't had dinner. So I'm just thinking everybody's on my time.
I'm all like buzzy now as well. I'm going to have to go and sit and chill myself down.
Relax. Go watch a movie. Glass of wine.
This was honestly fantastic. Thanks to everyone for joining us as well.
Thank you.
There are, I mean, it's really tough to find other people who've watched The Leftovers, particularly in the UK.
Yeah.
Like, I really waste anyone else who's watched it. So it's really nice to get to chat it through with you guys who all love the show as well.
Yes, please check out our channels. Also, we will have the live stream up on our channels because a lot of people couldn't join. So.
And obviously, if there's maybe if there's questions that we haven't been able to answer, you could put them in the comments, and we could.
It's under this video.
Yeah,
and we'll get back to them. But
we will.
We just wanted to make sure we went through each season and favorite moments and characters and stuff like that. And then, of course, I knew the ending would take a little bit because it's controversial, but we're on the same page, so that's what it is. It happened. What happened, as John Locke said. Oh my gosh.
Oh man. Thank you so much, Michelle. This has been fantastic. It's really good to chat with you.
Chat again sometime without it being recorded, but this was fun. We'll be doing Handmaid's Tale next. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. And
until the next time.
Until the next time. Bye.
Bye.